Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to Painted Studio. I'm Maury Curtis Dunbar, your host of Messes, and welcome back. Give me just a second. I want to see if I can get myself up here on, yes, I can get myself on camera here so I can now turn on comments. I apologize for my appearance. I am not feeling very well. I have bronchitis once again, so I will keep going today until I'm either done or I can't talk anymore. So we're going to get right into things quickly so you don't have to look at me too long. Just a friendly reminder, we are coming to the end of September. We are still having our product of the month sale, which is transfers, 20% off all transfers at paintedstudio.com using code transfer20 until midnight, last day of September. All right. Hey, Maddie, nice to see you here. And Barbara Williams, thanks for popping in. So today we're going to be working on these little steel fairies. A friend of mine brought them to me and gave them to me to do with as I will. And so I actually have two different ones down here. This is one pattern and there's another pattern down, which you will see. Oh, excuse me. Medication's making me a little sleepy. That I have laid down here, and we're going to get gilding on these. So I'm going to tell you that these were powder coated metal. So I gave them a light sand, applied set coat black to these. They do not have to be super highly bonded. This is not like we're going to be banging them against stuff. It's a little different, but I needed to take that powder coating off or down the sheen of it down. Set coat bonds to it very nicely once it's been sanded, and then we can gild over it. We cannot apply our gold leaf size over the standard metal powder coating. It just wants to not lay out well, sis up a little bit, bead up a little bit as you would. So we're going to go have some fun with this now. And let me set the camera down. And of course it doesn't want to go down as I want it to. Here we go. Let me see if that's right. Since this is in front of me, I just want to angle that up a little bit so that things are in front of me and I can see them. All right, so this is the one fairy pattern. I have not put the size on it yet. I have sized these. This is a fairy sitting on a moon. So we're going to work on all of these today. First thing we're going to do is use our Roberson's gold leaf size to size up this fairy. It's the only one I haven't done yet. So I'm going to take a little bit out of the bottle. Literally tiny bit. This is thin. A little goes a long way. This is not like gold leaves, the Artsyville foil adhesive that's thick and you need to keep it thick to keep it adhesive. This one you actually want to apply thin so that it gets just the right tack. Now what I'm going to do is zoom in a little bit so you can see what I'm doing. So here's this little fairy, and I'm taking a small brush and just taking a little bit of product. Now, got a little glitter floating around here, so we may have glitter fairies too. So you can see it's thin, it spreads, and I really want to spread this out as much as I can. I don't want it to pool. If I see it pooling somewhere, I'm going to pick up my up on the pooling areas up on my brush and spread it out. This gives you the right level of tack for gold leaf. Gold leaf size is absolutely not the same as foil adhesive. Gold leaf size tack level is much lower. You don't want it as high as it gets when we use the Artsyville foil adhesive. That's too tacky, it's too gummy, it doesn't level out, it does not give you the correct level of adhesion for gold leaf. It's actually too sticky. You don't get a good result with that. it kind of dulls it down because it's so sticky. It takes away the shine. Plus, it's a little softer than this would be because this dries so thin. And again, that affects the shine of your gold. So you can see any place that I think it's pooling, I'm running my brush through and picking it back up and brushing it out, using it to put size on in other areas. I want to keep it as completely covered but thin. Gold leaf does not require a huge amount of heavy adhesive to stick. As a matter of fact, it wants a little bit of a light side adhesive, so you get a beautiful tack without losing the shine. I'm going back through this, and you saw how very, very little product that took. And I have sized the whole thing. I'm going to go back over the hand because I think that's where I applied it the thinnest, and I want to make sure that I did apply enough. Now, I can apply size so fast sometimes that I can skip stuff, so I just want to go back, make sure every last little spot is coated. You may hear shortly in the background, I thought we were done with this for the summer, but they have closed off my street again for the weekend, and they have bands and stuff playing, so it may get louder outside soon. All right, so we're going to put this to the side. I will put this little bit of adhesive back in the bottle. And see, truly just a tiny little bit of adhesive is all we needed. Oh, I'm going to have to rinse my hands off because the cap got wet with adhesive and now it's all over my hands. That's not a good thing when you're gilding. You don't want your hands sticky. Okay, let's set that to the side. Please come back. Okay, we're back. We lost signal for a second. We have some funky weather coming in here, so my son lost power at his job, so I'm hoping we don't lose power here too. All right, there we go. Get my hands cleaned off. So I apologize for the pause. If we lose signal again, hang on a minute and let's see if it comes back. I'm just cleaning the adhesive off of my hands that I got from the cap because I managed to spill it on myself. Hi, Annette and Nancy. Nice to see you here. We were supposed to have a foiling class tomorrow. We've had to cancel that between the fact that we're at the farmer's market all day tomorrow and the fact that I have bronchitis. Class is unfortunately not a good idea for me. All right, so I pulled it off the paper that it was all covered in adhesive, and we're going to gild our first moon fairy. And we're going to do this the way you've seen me do this before. We're going to take out my gilder's pad. I am going to zoom back out a little bit so you can see all of what I'm doing a little better. Okay, this is my gilder's pad. We're going to be working in some small areas, so I'm going to pull out a gilder's tip that's the right size for what I need. I think that's the one I want. Yeah, I have one that's a little smaller, but it's a pain in the neck to use. And we're going to pick out what metal we're going to use. Give me just a second. I have to unroll my gilding tools. I need to get my gilder's knife out. Now, y'all know I was at Society of Gilders this past week, so I am in gold leaf mode, which makes this all the more fun. All right, I think we're going to start with a little bit of silver because we're going to work on the moon here. And then we'll gild the fairy in gold. Now, the hardest part for that is going to probably be right here, and I may not get that perfectly, but we'll give it a shot. I buy most of my gold and silver leaf from W&B, Warren and Bilmer Gold Leaf. They're out of Wisconsin. Terrific company, local group of guys, really, really nice, and their pricing tends to be better. Now, as you can see, I just sort of rolled that. That helps loosen the leaf a little bit from the sheets. In the book, this is loose leaf. Patent leaf is adhered to the papers. Oh, I did open this. I've used some of this before. Good, I'm not opening a brand new book to do this. That makes me happy. So I take my leaf. Now, I see gilders who can take a whole bunch of sheets of leaf, toss it across a gilder's pad, and then flip them up in the air, land it on the sheet, on the pad, and smooth it out. That's not me. Oops, sorry, I hit something here. I didn't mean to do that. There we go. I am a little bit on the slower side. I'm not as fancy a gilder as many because I don't do it all day, every day like other people do. I do it part of the time. So this is a gilder's tip. They're usually made with squirrel hair, or some are made, I have one that's made out of sable. They're made out of, I have some that are made out of badger hair. Just depends on the metal and what you're working with and what you like. So you take a little bit. Now, I am extremely dry skin. You've watched me do this before. You take a little Vaseline and you rub it on your arm. And you rub it in well. You don't want this goopy and gloppy, because if it is, it'll get on your brush and then your metal will never come off of the tip, which is, this is a tip. This brush is called a gilder's tip. So you want to make sure, I am too close in with my stuff right now. I'm going to take this, I'm going to cut this a little bit because I need smaller pieces for what I'm going to do, which is why I'm using this smaller tip or the smaller brush. And then you take the tip, you can see how easy it is to move this stuff around. Just deep breath, just from me, just caused it to shift around. Now, I didn't break it completely here, so I will work on doing that so I can take this piece. All right, it is here on my tip, and it just dropped where I didn't want it to, because now it's going to be stuck there, which is not what I intended. I wanted that spot gold. All right, we're going to take this little piece of gold, silver right off there. That's moving too fast. This picked up, and we're going to start putting it where I actually wanted it, which was up here. I did a bad job of cutting my leaf. You see how this caught a little bit on my tip, probably because I have more Vaseline than my tip is happy with on my arm. I'm going to keep laying this out. This is pure silver. I like it because it is a warm color. I have palladium as well. Palladium is a little cooler. Now, if I really thought about this, I would have carefully only sized this part with the moon. I didn't think about it that way. I sized the whole thing and then decided what I wanted to do, which is kind of typical of how my brain works. Okay, let's get another piece of silver. So this may come out the way I want. I may have to touch up with a little gold here and there. We'll see. We'll see how accurate I get. To get the square on here. A little puff of breath, as long as it's straight down, can help you get your leaf on your gilder's pad where you want it. Now these look like small pieces, but trust me, I have cut Look like we lost signal again. Hang in, everybody. Shit. Well, we may be gilding more of this in silver than I planned because I puffed this right onto the wing, which I didn't mean to do, so this whole thing is going to end up silver now. Oh well, so much for my carefulness. The signal went out for a second, I got distracted, and I dropped my leaf where I didn't want it to go. Oh well. Well, these are moon fairies, so they can be silver. I have another kind of gold that's very pale and warm, so we'll probably use that for some of the, for the other one. Folks, I'm really sorry. We keep losing signal. I don't know what's causing that. I can only assume that there's stuff going on around here. We don't normally lose signal on and off, so like I said, if we freeze up or if we go dark for a second, just hang in there. We'll come back. I promise. I'm going to keep coming here. Now, this gilder's knife is an important tool. When I get mine, I sand the edges a little bit because I want to take off any burrs, because any burrs and big nicks in your knife can cause you not to cut your leaf. It causes it to drag, and that makes a heck of a mess. So, if you're new to gilding and you have a gilder's knife, take care of it. Take care of your knife. It will take care of you. Mine is far from the most expensive. It's a fairly standard one. Again, if you're looking for gilder's tools, check out W&B. They're a really fine company. Of course, they don't carry our Whitson's lacquer, leaf lacquer, or the Roberson's gold leaf size, but that's okay. They're great for everything else. Now, I love this. I love just laying on leaf. And I kind of like enjoy fitting the pieces together and seeing where everything goes. And the reason I cut it up this way is so that I get everything covered and nothing is wasted. Because I could have done this in big sheets, but there would be a lot of leftover bits in the middle of it all, and then I'd still have to cover up stuff. I'd still be missing pieces that never got covered. So let's do that. Okay, so this is going to take probably a total of 3 sheets of silver. That's not surprising. Where did I put my book? I put it over here. It might have taken less. It could take more. But I think 3 is just the right amount. I'm not trying to cut them in perfectly even sizes. As a matter of fact, having different widths is very helpful to me. Different widths fit different places, and I shouldn't have stuck my finger in that, because now it's stuck to my finger. It's one of those things you don't really want to stick your finger in the leaf. It's not one of my smarter moves to have done. We need to tear that just a little bit. Because really, you're not cutting the leaf, you're breaking it. So starting October 1st, we will not be doing lives for a little bit. Not unless I have some time. We are going to be starting our closeout sale to move all this stuff that I have made in this studio. I'm going to be selling all these things. I'm going to try to see if I can figure out how to do a live sale. I have not figured that out. I know other people have done it and been really successful. I just have to figure it out. Because I haven't yet. Okay, let's cut a little thinner. Whoops, almost flipped everything there. I was putting a little too much pressure on the knife and almost flipped things in a strange way. Come on, off of there, off of here. Some little tiny bits that I need to place here and there. Places that I made has skipped a little bit. So let's see if I can get these broken apart. There we go. Got a fingertip right there. And I can see a little spot right in here. There's one little spot right in there. Okay, I think I got almost all of it. Now I can see a few spots. Now that I just moved some things, tamped it down a little bit. You don't really use the tip for tamping down. I just do that so I can see if there's any spots I missed. And we've lost signal again. Keep losing signal, folks. I am sorry. Unfortunately, I don't have control over that. Now, there's a little piece there that I'm going to stick there. Usually I try not to get my fingers in that because much of it likes to stick to my fingers as much as anything else. So I'm going to take my skewings brush. This is a skewings brush, and I'm going to tamp this down gently. I am not trying to clean this off right now. I'm just trying to make sure all of it is adhered. And it looks like we are well adhered all over, but I do have one little spot that I see, so I'm going to pick up a skewing, touch it right there, and I can see another little spot that's missed right there. So we're going to touch those. Now I'm going to move this, set this gently to the side, and I've got to clean this spot up here because we're going to switch metals. We used silver. Let me close up the silver book. Set that to the side, and let me find the gold that I wanted. We have rose gold, French pale. That's the one I wanted. French pale gold. Golds are made in all sorts of different colors, and that's truly wonderful. I have a book that I keep to the side that shows me all the different colors of gold available to me, which is really, really helpful when I'm planning a project. Now, I thought I had some moon gold, which is almost a warm silver color, but I think the French pale, it's pretty bright. What other colors do I have? Well, maybe we'll do this one in palladium so you can see the difference between silver and palladium. And I'll use the French pale for something else. Let me put this back in its little thingy. I do keep them all in the glassine envelopes. That's how you keep them nice and clean, keep them dust-free. This is palladium, and you're going to see it's a little bit cooler gray than the silver. It'll show it even more when we put them next to each other. And by the time we're done, we'll be able to gild the other fairy as well, because the water-based size only takes 15 to 20 minutes to set up, and then it's ready to go, and it'll stay tacky for a couple days. The company says forever, but those of us who have used it know it stays tacky in good shape for a couple days. And quite frankly, especially with gilding, you don't want to use things... Okay, come loose. Let's see if I can get this loose. Nope, it's going to stick to me because I'm stupid and I stuck my fingers in it. It's not like I wasn't just working with palladium this late. Oh, it's all sticking to everything on me. Sticking to my jewelry, sticking to my fingers. This is why you don't stick your fingers in the leaf metal, everybody. Let me show you how to do it wrong. Let's see if anybody's got any questions. Hi, Cindy. The palladium's beautiful. It's grayer. It's not as bright white as silver. It's got a little bit of gray tone to it. It's just the difference in the metal. All right. Let's put the... I am a genius. Some days I lay this stuff out perfectly. Like I was actually doing very well with the silver, but the palladium I am making a big giant mess with. So I got it there. That's where it's going. I have cut this piece up badly. It's floating everywhere. Ugh. I don't know what the hell happened to me on this one, but yeah, I made a mess. If it really bugs me, I will stop using this piece and I will get out a fresh one. So like I was saying before, when I say I cut the metal, I don't really cut it. I break it. This knife and the pad allows it to put pressure, and then you slide it through. And while it looks like it's cutting, it's actually a break that allows the metal to be used in smaller pieces. Really, I am struggling with the palladium today, and I don't know why. I never struggle with this. But of course, I'm not always on camera, so that will be my excuse today, is that I'm on camera. And again, I got my palladium from W&B. I think their website is wandbgoldleaf.com. And you really don't order it online because the price of the metal fluctuates with the market, but they will show you what they have, and then you call and order from them. And palladium is also a little heavier than silver. Okay, let's see if I can do this piece a little better. Because, damn, I did a terrible job with that. Let's see if I go in this way. My palladium's beat to snot in here. I don't know what happened. Like I said, I don't use palladium that often, so I'm not exactly sure what happened to this book of palladium. It might have just been kind of beat up on a bit. All right, let's see if I can break this apart a little better. Now, I may still struggle with this because, again, it may not break apart as easily. Silver's softer. It works easier for this a lot of the time. Okay, I know I've got at least some of it broken apart a little better. I'm going to stop talking because part of the problem is I'm puffing this all over the place when I lean over to talk. So I'm going to try to not do that. It's amazing how much better it goes when I shut up. And you can see just how beautiful the palladium is. It's such a gorgeous metal. Oh, hi Desiree. Hi. It's nice to see you here. I am gilding. And we're back again. Yay. We keep losing signal today. It is so frustrating. Like I said, we keep losing signal. It's been going in and out all day. My Wi-Fi's been the same way. We may be having issues locally. So just hang on a second. If we go dead, wait a couple seconds, we come back. I love this pattern. I love this fairy. Thank you to my friend Camilla for giving me her fairies to do. My nickname for many years, and I acquired it while scuba diving, believe it or not, is Fairy Butt. I happen to have a tattoo of a fairy on my back. And you can guess by the nickname about where it is on my back. And I went scuba diving down in St. Thomas with a group of people, and the nicknames of the dive instructors, because of their tattoos, were Fish Butt and Sun Butt. And then we had an 88-year-old man, wonderful guy who used to go scuba diving with us, named Abbott. So we were officially, after a couple dives together, we were Fish Butt, Sun Butt, Fairy Butt, and Abbott. And Fairy Butt has been my nickname for, a good 20 years now. So having fairies to gild makes me very, very happy. So my friend who gave me these, all my birthday and Christmas cards are addressed to Fairy Butt. Even though she wasn't part of it, she'd been a friend a long time, and she was looking for the right name for me. Fairy Butt fits. What am I putting this on? We're using Roberson's gold leaf size, the acrylic gold size that we carry here at Painted Studio. We import it from the UK. It is, in my opinion, the finest water-based gold leaf size out there. I have tried many. This is the one that makes the tack level just right. It has the tack level of gold size when it sets up. Oil-based size when it sets up. A friend of mine has developed one of her own. I have not tried it yet. I am more than happy to try it. And if it is better than the Roberson's, A, that's saying a heck of a lot. And B, I will be bringing it in. But I am waiting for my a chance to try it out. Okay, let's get this. Oh, I'm blowing on an angle so it doesn't want to lay out. There we go. And we will gild all three metal pieces that we're working on here. And if you missed it earlier, these were black powder coated cut pieces that I lightly sanded and then applied set coat black to. Why did I apply set coat black to something that was already black? Because the powder coating might not have been compatible with the gold leaf size. I didn't want to find out the hard way, so I made sure to put material on that absolutely was. Let me get that little speck that's on the tip of my brush and shove it on the tip right there. We applied Roberson's acrylic gold size. Let it set up for, I actually let it set up for an hour because I was doing other things. and then came back, and we are now gilding with palladium leaf. And as soon as I'm done here, I will show you what palladium and silver look like next to each other. I'm not sure how much the camera will pick up of the difference, but there is a substantial difference in the color. Let's get this. Come on, break apart. Come on. This little piece is twisted, and I don't want it to be. I actually want to break it in half. Let's see if that worked. No. Well, it helped straighten it out, that's for sure. Okay. I need to cut that in half too. I'm going to put a little extra pressure on it since it's small. That means it's more likely to be a pain to break apart. There's that piece. And here's that one. Okay, again, I'm going to take my skewings brush, tamp this down. I am not wiping it all clean yet. I just want to make sure we're thoroughly adhered. And then I'll pick up the silver and bring it back, put it next to it so you can see the difference between the palladium and the silver. They're both beautiful, don't get me wrong. There's just a color difference. So if I put the silver next to it, you can see the silver is whiter and brighter. The palladium has a hint of gray to it, little. If you didn't know, if they weren't right next to each other, it would be might be harder to distinguish, but because they are right on top of each other, it's really easy to see. Oh, look, I can find a little skewing spot that I missed. Let me grab some silver off of one spot and put it on another. And I'll do this with the other piece too. I'll see more as we clean it up. But also, as I clean it up, the skewings brush and the cleaning motion will help adhere any little spots that I might have missed. All right, so let's move that to the side. Again, clean this off. And now we have been gilding long enough that our fairy is absolutely ready to go. Now, I got a little bit of silver on it here, which I was afraid I might, but it's not tragic. So let me put the palladium away. And let's see, is that the French pale gold? Now this is going to be a very yellow gold, but a little on the pale side, not deep rich. It makes me think of the gold from India that tends to be very yellow and very bright, but oh, it's so pretty. And again, our gold will likely break easier than the palladium did because it's softer. And so this is, let me make sure it's, yeah, 22 karat French pale gold. Let's pull this out here. Now this is sticking on the tip very easily, which probably means I have plenty of oil from my Vaseline on there. The reason you're using that little bit of Vaseline that I rubbed down my arm is that it puts a little tiny bit of oil on the gilder's tip, and you can see the gold wants to grab there, so I probably have a little too much Vaseline on that for that. It worked perfectly for this silver and the palladium, but it might be too oily for the gold, which is lighter. And it wants to grab onto the tip itself instead of grabbing on in a nice sheet-like manner to the surface. Get a little more gold out. Now, like I said, I have seen really fine gilders throw a whole bunch of sheets in the corner of their mat and flip it everywhere, throw it up in the air, have it land perfectly. That is not me. I was just trying to find that where that wrinkle in the corner was coming from, and I can't even get this to lay out now. I think I've just got a crushed corner there. So I'll work with that. I got 2 pieces on here. Let's see if I can get that off. There we go. Excuse me. I'm trying to avoid doing that while I'm on camera, but every once in a while, I'm going to explode. I'm sick of bronchitis. You know, the one thing about everybody having to wear masks during COVID is that I didn't get sick once in several years. And now I've had bronchitis twice this year. I'm like, ah, crap. Say what you will about masks. Didn't get sick as much. All right, need a little more gold. Oh shoot, I stuck it to my hand, which is absolutely not what I wanted to do, as you know. Oh. Let's see if I can get some of this off my thumb. And a way to touch something to get it to stick and be useful instead of stuck to me. Oh, I got a little bit of it. Oh, I love when I do dumb things. This may end up being applied in a way that I don't normally do, which is finding an edge and hoping for the best. Because this is all caught on itself and I have nobody to blame but me. I am so smart. I had much more plans for that piece of gold than the way I handled that. Ugh. Now this is another kind of beat up piece. That's not a problem. Oh, there's stuff starting up outside. I hear things grinding and whirring. Besides the train. Now see, this is what I'm going to show you. Means that I had too much oil on my tip. It was fine for the silver and the palladium, but for the gold, which is lighter, it's grabbing onto the tip as much as it's grabbing onto the surface, and that means that I have a little too much oil on there. And really, you don't need a lot. People who have oily skin can just basically, do a little wipe against their jawline. I've seen plenty of people do that. No, it's not gross. No, it doesn't do anything bad to the gold. No, you don't get cooties from it. It's just a useful tool. It's no different than touching it with your hand. I am struggling with the gold today, which is funny because I usually struggle with the other metals. Probably because I'm not at my best today. Now that should have everything covered. I do see one little spot right there. There we go. Now, I'm going to knock my tip off. I'm going to put my knife away. I'm going to put my pad out of the way. I'm going to put the gold away. And then we will burnish it. But I got to make sure everything else is out of the way first, because this is how big messes get made. And you find gold in places you don't want it. And it goes everywhere. Back in the tip box. Okay. Pick up all the metal. Now my studio is not set up like a traditional gilder studio. I don't have a vacuum. Excuse me. I don't have a lot of the ways to grab my skewings and keep it perfectly clean around here. So we do the best we can. But look how beautiful that is. And see, I can see there's a little spot right there that didn't get any gold. So I can go back in, shove it on. And as I clean this up, I can use any of the little skewing bits that I find to cover anything that I just might have missed in all of my efforts. There's a little bit right there. Now, if I'm doing this and the gold is coming off areas, instead of staying stuck to it or letting me rub a little on and sticking it there, that means I missed it with the size, which is completely doable. Let me see if I've got a little. Okay, now that's gotten the majority of its skewings off, and I will finish that in just a sec. But we're going to come in with the palladium next. We're going to clean that one up. see if I, there we go. Look how beautiful that looks on there. I love this. Hi, Gail. Excuse me. Hi, Gail. Nice to see you here. So here we are with this. And one more with the silver. Now this just removes most of the excess leaf. This does not give it the perfect cleanup or anything like that. What I like to do is I like to get my skewings done at one point, then let all the size dry up, let everything settle overnight, and then come back the next morning and do a little polishing up. Because it lets that size just get a little bit harder and it is a little kinder. So I think these are awfully pretty. Like this. Move all of these shavings over here to the side. Again, I still have a little polishing up to do, but I think this will give you an idea of where we're at. Look how beautiful these all look. Oh, I'm so in love. I just love a beautiful gild. Whether it's silver, whether it's gold, whether it's palladium, any of those, it all makes me very happy. All right, everybody, let me switch the camera up here for a sec. Sorry, my hand's going to be in front of it until I get this angle right. Sorry about that. All right, everybody, have a fantastic weekend. We probably won't see you tomorrow since we're doing the farmers market, but we will see you next week. Have a good one. Bye-bye.